Alright, so the next part of the plan is to weld our top and bottom sections to our posts. And that's gonna give us, and that'll complete basically our outer frame. Okay, so we now have our frame put together, and the next thing we need to do is put our pickets in. Now we're gonna do this exactly the same way we just did our top and bottom sections, with the exception of we just need to find the spacing of our pickets. Now for a down rail, I generally use the 5-inch center, which means that every 5 inches is gonna be the center of my next picket. So really all you need to do is find where you're gonna put your first picket, and then measure 5 inches from that, and that's where you're gonna put your next picket. It's pretty easy. The easiest way for you to make sure that you have the same distance in between all of your pickets is just to take a piece of scrap metal or a piece of wood or anything really, and cut yourself a little spacer. Okay, so here's a little secret. A lot of times, I don't actually use this kind of spacing. Actually, I used punch channel. I have leftover punch channel from older projects. Now I know this tutorial is basing everything off of you never have done this before, but once you've done this and then you've moved on to other projects, I highly recommend you ordering punch channel. Now you can get this from kingmetals.com. It's great. They have it in all sizes, all different spacing. Makes your project so much faster. You don't have to measure out the spacing for each picket because it's already done for you. Anyway, once you've ordered this stuff and you've used it, save your scraps, because for smaller projects like the one that I'm working on here, where I don't really want to order more material, I can just use the scrap that I have in the shop. These make excellent spacers. Now back to the tutorial. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is lay our picket on our top and bottom section here. Now I'm starting over here. I've got this where I want it to be. I'm gonna go ahead and draw a little line just in case this gets moved. And I'm gonna take my spacer and I'm gonna set this right here on top. And I'm gonna draw a little line where the end of my spacer is. And I'm gonna do the same thing up top. Now I'm gonna take my other picket, just lay it right down on top of the frame and line it up with my two markings. Now you can see I've got some nice overhang here, so this is gonna give me plenty of room to cut this off. Now I'm gonna take my spacer again, set it back on top, draw my little line, put my next picket down, and then move all the way down until I'm done. Alright, so you see we have our overhang here. Now I'm just going to take my soapstone, look down like I did before, and just draw my lines right on top of my pickets. And this is going to be the angle that I cut my pickets at. All right, so that's it for the pickets. Now I've already measured my pickets and I've cut them. The next thing to do is to just set them right inside of the frame, right where we marked all of where our pickets needed to go, and just weld them in there. Now, the only thing to do from here is just to weld on your mount tabs onto the bottom of your posts if you're gonna be using concrete anchors or lag screws or whatever to mount this. Now, if you're just gonna core drill and concrete right into some concrete, well, then you don't really have to worry about that, do you? The next thing is just painting. So once you've painted this up, you're done. That's all there is to it. Now, of course, there are things you can do to spice this railing up a bit. You can get some cap rail material and set that right on top of your top section. But for purposes of this tutorial, I kept it very basic and just using, well, basically structural type steel. Nothing fancy, just plain old, regular, run-of-the-mill, straight material. All right, guys, that's it for this series. Now, I know we've done this series a little bit differently than we've done some of our series in the past, trying something new. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up and let us know if you liked it. And if you didn't like it, let us know then too. We want to make sure that we're creating stuff that's helpful for you. All right, that's it. I'm Andy Fogarty from theathomewelder.com. This series has been for kingmetals.com. Go check them out. Make sure that you order a Design Concepts catalog. It's going to give you all the cool, fancy designs that you can just pick, order the components, and then put together without even really having to think about it. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. All right, I'm Andy Fogarty, and I'll see you guys again next time.